Hi, I'm Andrew Drane and welcome to our inaugural edition of This is Hills Living. And today I'm very excited to bring you to Kellyville and we're going to be having a coffee with Peter Mawad. Now, he's the owner of this little bar behind me called Mini Espresso Bar, a great place to have coffee right here in Kellyville. Pete's business has a cult following among the Hills residents. Opening early enough every morning to wake up the sparrows, he provides coffee, good food, conversation to local tradies, business people and morning walkers. Even some of the greatest authors in the area have penned some of their finest works here in this cafe. You'll find it very inviting and very friendly. So Pete, you're a chef by trade. What led you to opening this business on this scale?
The main reason for me to open this was because I got sick of opening restaurants. I was working day and night, doing split shifts, and I just wasn't enjoying it anymore. I never saw my family and so on. And this gives me the chance to open early in the morning, close at 3:30, and it's just a lot more easier. I have 2 staff instead of 10 staff, and it's just a lot more enjoyable to work in that environment for me anyway.
And you're the face of the business, so you can be here and do what you do best, interacting with customers, yeah?
Absolutely, and I love it. And that's the important thing, as I was saying before. I get to talk to my customers all day. They're walking down the street. I know what they want as they're parking their car, and I can make them their coffee, get it ready. And it's just great. And I can do coffees, still keep cooking as well, bit of everything. So
and that's what I like about it. I get that personal touch when I come in, that interaction with you, and that's what I like about coming here every morning.
Sure.
All right, Pete, I stop here every morning on the way to work. You seem to be open no matter what time it is. What time do you open and why do you open at that time?
We open really early, between 4:30 and 5 a.m. And the reason we do that is because of all workers. The good old days of 9 to 5 are gone. We get tradies and starting at 5 o'clock in the morning, they're stopping in. We get office people rocking up at 6 a.m. The good old days of 9 to 5 are gone. Everybody's working on the run and they come in here, easy to park, and they can just quickly grab a coffee, bacon, egg roll or a sandwich, and off they go to work. So that's the reason why we open, and it's probably one of our busiest times, between 5 and 9 a.m. Okay. It's just flat chat.
And how do those times suit you personally?
Oh, it's hard work getting up that time and getting started, but I love it. I'm an early riser anyway, so to me personally it's great. So I really enjoy it.
I just want to ask you, you open here at 4:30 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
You finish at 3.
Yeah.
How are you feeling at the end of the afternoon? Are you a bit tired?
Don't ask, mate.
In bed by 8 o'clock or?
Definitely, 8 o'clock's a late night for me. So unless the footy's on, then I'll start for the footy. That's it.
Then you come in here a little bit tired in the mornings.
Exactly.
But it never shows, Pete. That's the most important.
Oh, mate, you can't. I feel it at home, and you know what life's like, and you just go on adrenaline, and then there comes a time when you just get home, just think, I can't do this anymore, and you just have a rest. But if you do what you love, you're fine. You know.
And how do you recharge the batteries? Because you're doing what you love. It's not a chore for you. Get up and
mate, just hanging out, just relaxing with my family. I have dinner with my family, and then Sundays we hang out together, and that's about it. You know, I don't do nothing special. So you know,
those important things for you are having dinner with the family, spending time with the family, and that.
I've got 3 daughters. One of them's about to get married in a few months, and she's going to be out of the home soon. I know I'm already emotional about that. You know, she's going to leave in November. She goes, I want to move out early, and I think, nah. Not till November you're leaving, because I know I'm going to lose you after that, you know. So it's important to enjoy your family. Growing up, I spent most of my career as a chef working night times, weekends. I never saw my kids when they were younger. So that's it. So that's why it's great to go home and know you can see the kids and the missus every night.
So Pete, you basically, what you're saying is you give your customers what you believe they want. So how important is that to you?
Oh, it's very important. And that's what keeps the business going. As I've said, I've had a lot of business over the years, and this one, you just learn each time in life. You just learn different things to do. And here, when we first started off, we were just really simple, just sandwiches and pastries and cakes and so on. Now, every month we're adding, like now we do lots of burgers, chicken burgers, beef burgers, pulled pork burgers. My wife and Lisa and Mel, they make all our stuff now. Everything's homemade. My wife's vegetarian and vegan, so she makes a lot of that style of foods. Lisa makes all the brownies free on. So every time a customer comes in, you can't give them everything they want all the time, but you just work to that process where you can. Might take me a month to get it right, and I'm happy selling it. Yeah, so we just try to give customers what they want, but we're only small and simple, and we like to keep it that way.
That's an important point. From the moment that you opened until now, obviously your product range has changed a lot. How much has it changed? And is that because of asking people what they wanted or them requesting certain things in the morning. I know I come and get one of your wife's muesli bars in the morning every morning with my coffee, which suits me. So how much have you changed since you opened?
Well, we've been here for almost 2 years now, and we've changed a little bit and a lot in a way. It's hard to explain, but I didn't know how popular gluten-free is getting and vegan is getting. So now we try to do a lot of products that are made out of that, and every week we're adding something new. And just the thought of people loving homemade stuff. That's why we don't buy anything anymore. There's only one product we buy. Everything else is homemade here, and I'm very proud of that. And that's what people are asking for. You know, you got to distinguish yourself a little bit different from other places. So hopefully it's working. It seems to be every month, God willing, we're growing every month, and I'm very proud of that. So I think we're on the right track.
And the fact that you're a bit smaller than you used to be means that you can actually concentrate on those products and change with the customer.
That's a great point, exactly. When you're too big and got too many products to offer, you just can't, you don't know whether you're Arthur or Martha. But that's a great point. When you're small, you can get everything right that the customer wants because you don't have too much products to work with anyway, so it helps, and being small in that sense.
All right, Pete, not that it seems like you need to, but how do you go about attracting customers? How have you brought them in?
The important thing for me, Andrew, is word of mouth at this stage. Now, my biggest problem in life at the moment is I'm so stuck behind the machine that I don't get out as much, and I don't push my social media as much as I should. I do have my kids that prompt me to tell me to get on Facebook and Instagram and so on, and I do that, but I know I need to get better at that. So at the moment, all it is word of mouth, and from the reputation I've had for the last 12 years in the area, people from all over on their way through, they know I'm here now, they'll pop in, have a quick coffee or something. But it's mainly word of mouth, and that's my main way of doing it, even though I know I've got to push my social media side of things a lot more.
Yeah, probably. I don't know that I'd worry too much about it because I think for you, word of mouth is working well. I know I mention your cafe every time I get a chance, inadvertently or not, and I'm sure that brings people here as well. So the fact that you're behind the counter, you offer really friendly service, a good product range, good quality coffee and food, I think that's going to bring people here, and that word of mouth will enable you to build your customer base.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, and that's what we try to do, you know. And by the way, it's always good having nice blokes like you as customers anyway, so you got a lovely family, mate, so that's all.
Thanks, Pete. And we all love coming here too. Even Matthew gets
his milkshake.
Don't tell his mum, right? So, Pete, what does running a good business mean for you, and what absolutely needs to be taken care of?
I look at everything. I look at the basic thing from cleaning a window. To me, if you can't even clean a window, what's the rest of the shop like? Little simple things like that are important to me. Cleanliness is number one in hospitality, so that's obvious to most people. And once you start from there and the shop is clean and you're organised, you've got systems in place, and then the service becomes automatic. You know, you can give the customer whatever they want and whatever they ask for, and that's the important thing. So that's what I find is important. I do apologise, sir, we're closed.
That's all right, mate.
I'm sorry, mate.
Okay.
So, Pete, we can't even keep the customers away when the door's locked, mate. That's how popular this place is.
It's like we said before, Andrew, the most important thing is giving the customer what they want, and that's always a good starting point. And then once you've got that organised, then everything falls into place. Once you're clean and organised and systems are in place, the customer can 99% of the time get whatever they require. Doing something for them is not a headache. You know, if they want a burger that's only medium rare or with pineapple, you know, it's not on the menu, but it's not a drama. We'll just do it, you know, just all simple things like that. And to me, that's what's important in running a business, looking after the customer, and then all the rest falls into place.
So the small things make a big difference. So keeping the shop front clean, that is important.
100%.
And following systems.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. In this place, you have to use, you've got people, like any business, I'm assuming, but you've got people ordering coffees and you want this sort of coffee. And these days, there's so many different milks, it's confusing just making coffees. And you've got, you know, 20 different style of sandwiches and so on. So it's all about, if you've got systems in place, it'll all work, you know.
You never thought of that. Back in the old days, you had milk in your coffee. Now you've got skim milk, full cream milk, soy milk, almond milk.
You name it, mate. And there's lactose free and there's oat milk, and so we've kept it down to 4 at the moment. So yeah.
Pete, one of your strengths is you have a nice, chatty personality. How important is it to you that you have that sort of relationship with your customers?
I find it very important. The reason why is and I think I've mentioned it to you before, there's a million cafes. People can go anywhere. They can go make a piece of toast at home for 10 cents and have a coffee at home for 50 cents, you know. It's important to get to know the customers and make them feel comfortable. You know, you want you want them to feel special, that you do think about them. One thing, a good thing about me is, I'll admit, is I remember everything people tell me. You know, if you talk to me, I really listen, and I'll remember it 6 months later. And I think that's important. People love that. You know, they know there's somewhere to get a coffee, but to come in, if they've got someone on their shoulder, they can just have a chat. You know, so I think that's a very important part of the business. Otherwise, they can just go anywhere and grab whatever. You know, so they can go to a Macca's and grab a coffee, but people want a bit of service or a bit of, you know, want to feel special.
Oh, even more than that, I know that when I come for coffee in the morning, it's a start to my day. So if I come in here, order my coffee and my muesli bar, and I get a friendly service, that actually helps me start the day in a positive way.
Absolutely, yeah, no, that's a great point. I never thought about it, but that's so true. Sometimes people, first thing in the morning, put you down and you're done, your day's stuff for the day.
Like you get up, you've got 3, 4, 5 kids or whatever. You've got one or two kids, and they're mucking up in the morning and you're yelling and screaming at them if that's what happens.
Yeah.
And it happens in my family a lot.
All the time.
Coming here just changes that straight away.
Yeah.
We're in a little cafe shop on Windsor Road, a busy road, but you always seem to make me and the customers feel comfortable. How important is it, and how do you make them feel like they're at home when they come into the coffee shop?
Sure. One of the important things I like doing is I like introducing customers to each other. Sometimes they don't want to know about it, but a lot of times they don't mind, because it just builds atmosphere and it builds people lonely. People want to chat. People just want to get shit off their head from work or whatever, you know.
Even today you introduced me to an author that's written 5 books that was sitting right here.
Correct. And she's a really lovely lady. She's always here, and she's written most of her novels here. It's great. And I'm really proud of that. We have that here all day. A lot of locals come here and they just hang out for a couple of hours and drink their coffees. I make sure I've got comfortable furniture so people don't just quickly rush off, and they feel comfortable. As opposed to when I had businesses, a lot of my businesses have been underneath office buildings, where I created the same atmosphere, but they weren't locals, they were all just workers. A lot of these people live in this area and they just want to come for a walk, bring their dogs out and just come and hang out. I love playing my music. I think of the customer, what would they listen to? There's certain sort of music I play.
I love the music, mate. Love it.
I know you're a music man, so I'm glad you appreciate it. And it's just stuff like that. I just really love people to feel comfortable. And I really feel I've achieved that here, and it makes me very proud out of everything I've done. It's probably one of the proudest things. I've got so many locals who call this home, and it just feels great. And I think that just comes across with my staff. You obviously can't do anything without good staff, and I'm pretty blessed to have good staff. And they mingle with the customers like it's me anyway, and you know.
So you attract the staff that like you anyway, obviously.
Exactly.
You know what you want to achieve, and you want to get the same sort of staff to help you out.
That's it, exactly.
You've done really well in that respect, mate.
No,
it's a very homely place to come. It really is.
Mate.
So, Pete, it's a hard industry. Is it important that you like what you do?
Absolutely, Andrew. And that's with everything in life. You've got to love what you do. And I don't know anything else. I've been doing this since I left school, since I was 18. I studied hard to be an apprentice chef, and I was never a good one, but I just learned to love it as I grew. When I first left school, I did it because it was just a job. And over the years, I've learned to fall in love with it, and it's paid dividends. And now I wouldn't know what else to do. It's all I've ever done, and I just love it. And I hope that comes across. I've got my girls here that work here, and they're fantastic. We're always bantering and talking and laughing and arguing, and it's just great. It's all in good spirits, and we do with customers. And I just want people to really feel comfortable when they come in here, because I know how I'd feel if you go to somewhere and there's a bit of tension. It comes across, and I've learned over the years that customers do not want that. You know,
I mean, I couldn't agree more. Nothing upsets me more than going to a shop where you're treated like they don't want you to be there.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot now.
Of course.
And there's an old saying, you know, if in a career, if you do what you love, then you'll never work a day in your life. And I think that's important. If you can find something that you love, you'll never work a day in your life. That's how you come across to me in this business. You love doing it, and it's more of a hobby.
100%, mate. And I do. I absolutely love it. It is hard work, but if my wife would let me open Sundays, I would open Sundays, put it that way, you know, but I'd lose my marriage, you know, like that's how much I love it. I love coming to work.
Bigger influence in your life, like the economy. How have the different economic factors affected you over the years, and how have you dealt with it?
It's a good question, Andrew. And I don't know, for a restaurant, if I was having a restaurant, I think it would affect me a lot. being a cafe, I don't think affects me as much. Everybody needs their coffee. We're just so addicted. We're like a drug dealer. We're so addicted to it now. Everybody needs their coffee, so they come and get a coffee in the morning. Lunchtime, it might affect us a little bit. People might bring their own lunch with them at times, but I don't think it affects me as much as I know lots of friends who've had restaurants over the years. When the economy is struggling, obviously they struggle. You know, they've all got to go to the big $20 lunch specials, glass of wine and an entree and a main for $20 or stuff like that. That sort of thing affects them. Here, our price point is pretty low, so it doesn't affect us as much as certain other areas do. Basically, to answer your question, the economy really, even now, running up to the elections, people were a bit worried, but it wasn't really affecting us, thank God. We've been pretty busy. So it hasn't really affected us in that sense. So yeah, so
I think there's opportunities in every market. I think if you do the basics really, really well, you're going to do well in any market. You know, when things are good, and there's an old saying that I like using: the best time to fix a leaky roof is when the sun is shining.
Sure.
And when the sun's shining and the economy is really good, people forget that the basics need to be. You know, they need to stick to the basics, and if they don't, when the market does change, they're going to lose customers.
Sure.
With you, what I've found is that you've done the basics really well.
Sure.
It's a great place to come. It's a friendly atmosphere. You know, it's like a home away from home, and that's why people will keep coming.
Sure. Yeah.
And I believe that. Yeah.
Thanks, mate. And that's it. What's that saying? KISS, keep it simple, stupid. And that's what I try to. I just try to keep it really simple, you know. And it's and it does help. If you're not trying to be too, you know, too much of a show pony or whatever, just stick to the basics, get the basics right, and everything else falls into place.
If you build it, they will come.
If you build it, they will come. Field of dreams,
mate. Thanks for your time. Pete, I really appreciate your time, mate.
No worries, Andrew.
And here's what we've learned from Pete. Provide your customers with value for money. Start with what the customer wants and work back from there. It's the overall experience that matters, not just the coffee or the food. And importantly, find your optimal level. And that is a level at which you are most effective at delivering for your customers while still enjoying your work. Well, that was the man himself, Pete, proprietor of the Mini Espresso Bar, situated here at 33 Windsor Road in Kellyville, open 4:30 till 3 Monday to Friday and 6 till 12 on Saturday. Come in for a great coffee and a conversation with Pete.